Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet welcomes you into coverage of NCAA Division II men's basketball, streaming exclusively on Flow College. In the team's final non-conference matchup of the season, the College of Staten Island takes on Post University in the back half of tonight's doubleheader. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman alongside my broadcast partner, Nicholas Bavona, and this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's is our scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, and they bring you our pregame coverage ahead of every CSI Dolphins home game. And Nick, 1 week ago, men's basketball improved to 8-0 here at the tank with a victory over Franklin Pierce University. The Dolphins have now won 5 in a row as well, and this team seems to be getting better with each passing game.
Yeah, it's really remarkable, Joe, what this team has been doing over this course of time. 8-0 here at the tank, 5 straight victories overall for them on the season. And you look at what they did in their last game against Franklin Pierce, a really strong performance from the field. They shot 46% from the field, 33.3%. I know that's a number that you like from the three-point line. And something that, was a great first half. I mentioned, the numbers, 46% in the first half. A little bit troubling for the Dolphins, though, Joe, in that second half. They only shot 20%, and that allowed the Ravens to come back in that game. So that's something to note of for the Dolphins coming into tonight's matchup. They did out-rebound the Ravens 39-31, which is what we've been seeing a majority of the time this season. 4 different players in double figures. So I think if you're CSI coming into tonight, the only big concerns that you have, the turnover numbers are still a problem for this team, and closing out these last couple of games have certainly been a problem. They're looking to make sure that doesn't happen again here tonight.
Well, as I mentioned before, Nick, this is the final non-conference game for men's basketball this season, and it's not hard, or I should say it's hard not to look ahead to a pair of big games against the ECC in Buffalo this coming weekend. Before the Dolphins arrive there, they take on a 4-8 Post team that is coming off a lopsided win over Georgian Court, and you can't let their record fool you. They played some tough opponents this year and are 3-2 in conference play. What makes this Post team dangerous, and how can they snap the CSI winning streak?
Well, you look at the numbers for the Eagles on the season. They're shooting 44% from the field as a team, as well as 36% from the outside mark. They're forcing a lot of turnovers this season, and that's been a big plus for them this year. Plus 11 on the season in turnover differential, and for a Dolphins team that's been struggling with turnover numbers this season, that's something that they might look to try to make sure that they get the job done. They have 3 players in double figures as well this season, which is something that they are looking to try to exploit. Taquan Williams, you as well see Zion Lott, as well as Derek Thomas II. So if you're the Eagles, those players are going to be the biggest factors for you in tonight's game. And as I mentioned earlier on, the only big concern for them this season is that their rebounding numbers haven't been as great. And you're facing a Dolphins team that's really been great this season on the rebounding glass. They're -5 in terms of rebounds per game, that being the Eagles. So the Dolphins, for them to get the win, they're going to try to make sure that they maintain and try to do what they've been doing all season, out-rebounding their opponents. And on the other side of things, the Eagles' game of action, forcing the turnovers that we've seen the Dolphins unfortunately had a couple times this season.
And shifting our focus back to the Dolphins, the CSI team not only has the big matchup with number 2 Damon on Sunday in Buffalo, preceded by a game at Deauville on Friday, but they also take on Stack in 8 days back here at the tank. Whether or not this team has a chance to secure a top 2 seed in the ECC could very well be decided by next week, as 3 of their 4 games against the Wildcats and Spartans will be completed. How important is it to head up to Buffalo coming off a win tonight, and how can this Dolphins team ensure that they take care of business here at home today?
Well, Joe, we talked about this in the last game that we just covered before in the women's side. You want to get that win before you go into conference play. This is the last non-conference matchup for the Dolphins this season, so it's conference play from here on out for this team. And taking care of business before you take on those 2 road opponents this season will be very, very crucial for the Dolphins this year, especially considering the fact on Sunday they will face number 2 Damon in a really high contested matchup. So, go ahead.
And Nick, the Dolphins won at the tank yet again 1 week ago, and this team has been as consistent as they come here at home this season. We'll get a look back at that win over Franklin Pierce via the highlights.
And we'll start it off right here, a play that I had to watch myself. Chestnut forcing the turnover and gets the lay-in.
And we've seen this many times. It's an ET3. He seems to be red hot coming out of the gate early in many games.
And speaking of red hot, how about Mitchell Wiggett getting that layup in traffic?
That is a nice move by Wiggin. And speaking of nice moves, J.J. Chestnut with it, uses the Asa Kone screen. Good patience. He gets into the paint and converts on the floater.
And speaking of getting inside the paint, you'll see right here post-move work from Asa Kone, getting right past his opponent for that post-move work.
We've seen Kone do good work down low in the post. And Aaron Goldstein goes for the alley-oop looking for Kone. It was tipped in on the back end.
And how about another ET3? Tynes knocks down that triple.
And speaking of threes, this time J.J. Chestnut from the right wing. He knocks it down, and Nick, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, needs just 6 points tonight for 1,000.
And speaking of threes, how about Andrew Benedict? He knocks down that triple right there.
And Benedict wasting no time getting back to it at the offensive end, goes high off glass and in.
And something we've seen a lot this season, Mitchell Wiggin with that pull-up jumper.
Wiggin with the pull-up, kick out to the corner, and this time it is a Chestnut three from the corner.
Then we'll see right here, Dolphins moving the ball around. Mitchell Wiggin gets the ball on the baseline, goes up and under for the reverse lay-in.
That's a nice move by Wiggin, and we take it from in the paint back to the outside. Goldstein with it. Chestnut spotted up well behind the arc, steps in and knocks down the mid-range pull-up.
Something we've also seen a lot this season is Eric Tynes making some really high contested shots. Fadeaway jumper with 6 to go on the shot clock, knocks it through.
Do not overlook him in the post, and do not sleep on Chestnut from way downtown. He knocks down another three.
Chestnut very aggressive in this game, Joe, and you'll see it right here on this upcoming play. A play we've seen a lot of times over this course of tenure. He gets the pass on the outside, goes up with the floater, and lays it in.
How about that? Beat one defender on the outside, split two more, and floated it in over one more defender. As you see, Wiggin grab this rebound, kicks it out a long way. Goldstein alley-oop to Kone for the lay-in.
Another alley-oop connection right there for the Dolphins. And how about this one-handed floater? Andrew Benedict really shining in this game.
Did some good things from the outside, some good things from in the paint. This time it's Aaron Goldstein late, just inside of 10 minutes to go. He gives the Dolphins a 13-point lead.
I mentioned Benedict's strong work this season. How about this play right here? You see it's a long three for Goldstein. He gets the rebound, gets the putback on a strong finish.
Always in the right place at the right time on the offensive glass. This is Chestnut looking for a cutting Goldstein and an easy two.
Goldstein first goes inside the paint on that play, Joe, and then a big, strong three, a big dagger late in the game. He knocks down that triple.
An AG three to put the Dolphins ahead by a bit more, and this time it is Goldstein on the drive. He gets by one defender, has another backpedaling, good patience, puts up the floater, and puts it in. The Dolphins knock off the Ravens here at the Tank this past weekend. And Nick, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be right back with the rest of our McDonald's pregame show. Joe Foreman back with you here on CSI Sportsnet, and we're about 55 seconds away from the introduction of starting lineups ahead of tonight's game between the College of Staten Island and Post University. But I have the unfortunate responsibility of passing along some sad news regarding the men's basketball program, as on January 1st, the team suffered a great loss. Marcy Poulin, the mother of CSI guard Joey Poulin, passed away following an aggressive battle with cancer on New Year's Day. Our thoughts and prayers and condolences are with Joey, Renna, Peter, and the entire Poulin family during this difficult time. In just a few moments, everyone here in attendance at the Tank, along with both teams and all of us here on Sportsnet, will join in a moment of silence in memory of Marcy Poulin. We are going to turn it over to our public address announcer at that time. Nick and I will step off headset as we observe a moment of silence in memory of Marcy Poulin.
East Coast Conference matchup featuring the St. Post University Eagles and your CSI Dolphins. Ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce this evening's starting lineup, we kindly ask for your attention as we honor the memory of a valued member of the CSI men's basketball family. On January 1st, Marcy Poulin, the mother of CSI guard Joey Poulin, passed away following a long battle with aggressive cancer. Our thoughts and our deepest condolences are with Joey, Brenna, Peter, and the entire Poulin family during this incredibly difficult time. At this time, please join us in a moment of silence as we honor and remember Miss Marcy Poulin. Thank you. And now, please join us as we prepare for tonight's starting lineups. Let's start with the leading Post University Eagles. At forward, the 6'6" graduate student from Gillard, Maryland.
Joe Foreman back with you here alongside Nicholas Pavona as the men's basketball team just observed a moment of silence in memory of Marcy Poulin. Our best wishes and our thoughts, of course, are with the Poulin family during this time. Joey, of course, is not with the team tonight. So with his absence, the starting lineup changes just a bit, but Nick, it'll be the same starting five for the Dolphins that we saw in our last broadcast. You have the starting lineups for both teams.
For the Eagles, we'll start with number 2, Derek Thomas II, number 11, Harry Scully, number 12, Zion Lott, number 14, Dang Akok, and number 21, Taquan Williams. For the Dolphins, as you mentioned, Joe, the same starting five as our last game. Number 3, J.J. Chestnut, number 10, Asa Kone, number 21, Eric Goldstein, number 32, Eric Tynes, and number 35, Mitchell Wiggin.
And Nick, we opened with it during our pregame show, and it's a number that leaps off the stat sheet for the Dolphins in terms of this team's performance. 8-0 here at the Tank, and you brought attention to something that I think has been clear through a lot of those games. This team, at times, has seen games where they had what appeared to be a comfortable lead get away late in the fourth quarter. They could close a bit better. The turnovers have been an issue for them at times, but it's been issues that have occurred few and far between. This team has been really impressive in the games that we've covered here at home, and I've covered 3 road games as well. Those have also been pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I think, coming into tonight's game, Joe, we've seen those strong starts for the Dolphins. They get out to a very quick start, and that's really put them in good position to win all these games. But if you ask head coach TJ Tibbs, of course, he would like to finish these games off on a high note too, because they've gotten a little bit scary for the Dolphins in the later stages of some of their last couple of home games here at the Tank. So I think the game plan for tonight is, of course, start off strong, as you usually have been doing, but finish the game strong as well. Ensure the victory, move on to the weekend. We talked about it, 2 important conference games coming off for the Dolphins tonight. As the biggest things for them going into this game tonight, Joe, of course, we talked about it earlier. Avoid the turnovers, which is what has been helping Post this season, but also make sure you can exploit those rebounding numbers that they've been struggling with as well.
This is a game that if you're the Dolphins, you can't afford to look past, but there's also no way around it, Nick. The games that are looming in the next 7 days following tonight's matchup with the Eagles, those are going to be huge games.
Absolutely.
For the Dolphins, and I should say 8 days, as the Dolphins return back here next Wednesday for a conference doubleheader against the Spartans of St. Thomas Aquinas College. And I said it before, Nick, if the Dolphins have their sights set on a top 2 seed in the ECC, they very likely need to win 2 out of their next 3 games following tonight's matchup. That being said, they cannot afford to look past this Eagles team here at home as they look to improve to 9-0 at the Tank.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are trying to play the proverbial, spoiler here tonight, Joe, by potentially knocking off the Dolphins and getting the victory before CSI goes on the road. So this is a big game for both of these teams, For Post, they would like to get their season back on track. They're currently, as we talked about, 4-8 on the year. So a win tonight could potentially spark something for them for the rest of the way, put them at 5-8. But as you mentioned as well, CSI going for a 9-0 start here at home.
Very curious to know how much attention is paid by a visiting team to a team's mark at home, with the Dolphins having not lost here, as we await the completion of the sportsmanship statement and tip-off between the Dolphins and Eagles. Kone and Aycock jump, and the Dolphins control the tip. We mentioned it before, but in case you missed it, J.J. Chestnut needs just 6 points for 1,000. Believe I've called 2 Dolphins reaching their 1,000th career point. I think Waterman and Mallory both did it here at home as Chestnut was blocked. Good defense there by Taquan Williams, and the Dolphins have an early turnover.
Well, we've been seeing, Joe, that Chestnut had got really aggressive these last couple of weeks, especially in the last game, got aggressive early on. He tried to get aggressive on that shot, but as you mentioned, Williams with a nice rejection, and the Dolphins turned it over after that.
With it now is Lott, bounce pass into the corner. Scully looked to drive off the fake, brings it back outside. Looks to attack once again, met with a double. Runner in the lane off the back rim, no good by Derek Thomas II. And a foul was called underneath against the Eagles.
Ball went out of bounds.
All right, or not. I didn't think the ball was anywhere near the baseline when I was following it, Nick.
It was tipped out of bounds, I believe, maybe by Thomas. Yeah. Dolphins going quick up the court.
We've seen that many times before. Not only off of misses, but off of inbound passes as well. Goldstein met with a double, finds Chestnut for 3. No good. And Tynes has the rebound. This is Wiggin for 3. Splash.
And Wiggin has just been getting more consistent, Joe. He's not been hesitating a lot on his shots. He knocks down that 3 right there. Dolphins have the first points of the night.
Wiggin is a player who not only has assumed a bigger role and stepped up, but he seems to be getting better and better as we go. It's been impressive to watch this year. Eagles work it around the perimeter. And a whistle comes in for a Dolphins foul.
And we'll get a look right here as the Dolphins getting the second chance points. Wiggin, as soon as he gets the pass from Tynes, did not hesitate. He knocks down that 3 for the first points of the evening. And as you mentioned, Joe, his confidence level just seems to be going up every single game that he's been playing in this season.
Yeah, and that's it, Nick. He's not just shooting it well, he's shooting it with great confidence on top of it. And that's a killer combination for a player whose ceiling seems to be incredibly high. 3 on the way this time from Lott, no good. The Eagles secure the offensive board, and quick fadeaway jumper goes down for Williams.
Nice shot right there by Williams. He's, I mentioned earlier in the pregame, one of the leading scorers for this Eagles team, so he's going to be relying on to try to score tonight to try to keep them in this.
Wiggin wanted Kone, and I think Kone expected him to shoot it.
Either that or maybe looking for an alley-oop pass on that play.
Well, that was Derek Thomas II on the offensive glass for post. Helping to set up that last basket. He gets the assist and the offensive board. That shot rims out and is grabbed by Chestnut. Dolphins once again looking to push. Chestnut lost it. Here comes Scully up the floor, and his finger roll won't go. Goldstein had to ease off defensively to avoid the foul. Scully couldn't finish, and Goldstein is short on the 3. Williams off the fake, gets the pass to Aycock. His floater is good.
Nice job by Aycock right there on that floater. And you're looking at it early on, Joe. Williams is going to be a tough matchup tonight for whoever's guarding him, whether it be Chestnut, maybe Goldstein. He's got some flashy footwork.
That three-pointer too long by Tynes. Rebound pulled in by Lott. Come the Eagles. Williams uses the screen from Aycock and kicks out to an open Aycock for 3, and he buries it.
Aycock with a big 3 right there. The 6'7" junior knocks down the triple, puts his team now up 4 points.
Tynes alley-oop for Kone. He comes down with it and is blocked. Lott got a piece of it on the way up. Chestnut was given some room there, declines to shoot the 3. Pass to a tight window for Goldstein. Kick out to an open Chestnut. No good.
Chestnut off to an early cold start right there. And as we talked about it, Joe, the Dolphins usually get off to these hot starts, but so far that's not been the case.
Pull-up jumper by Williams rattles in, and Post leads at 9-3.
And speaking of hot starts, it's been a hot start for Williams in this game. Has a block, a couple of big shots as well. His team now up 6.
He's 2 for 2 from the field. Wiggin tied up and fouled. That's one way to slow the momentum if you're the Dolphins. Attack the rim, draw the foul, get to the line, and send us to immediate timeout. 15:51 to go in the first half. The Eagles lead the Dolphins 9-3. Just over 4 minutes gone by in the first half, and the Eagles have an early 6-point lead over the Dolphins, 9-3. Mitchell Wiggin heads to the line for 2 shots as we emerge from a media timeout.
Very uncharacteristic start for the Dolphins, Joe. They're 1 of 6, including 1 of 5 from 3 to start this game.
And Wiggin is responsible for all of the CSI points. He knocked down a 3 to get the scoring started for CSI. Since that time, 9-0 run for Post. Wiggin goes 1 for 2 from the line, and he will quickly head to the bench as Andrew Benedict checks in.
Benedict coming off a 14-point performance. The Dolphins win against the Ravens. Will provide some early bench minutes right here.
Dolphins played harassing defense coming out of the timeout as Benedict has the tie up on Williams. Possession arrow will keep us here. You can see it, Nick. Coming out of that timeout, the Dolphins playing very aggressive defense on the perimeter.
Especially when facing Williams, who, as I mentioned earlier, could be a really tough matchup tonight. He's already off to a good start offensively, and they don't want to give him any space. If he gets any type of space and creates it, he's going to take the shot.
18 on the shot clock as the Eagles inbound from the baseline. Coming out of that timeout, Cape Holden checked in. He has it in his hands. Finds an open Thomas II, and he knocks down a 3.
Another 3 right there for Post. As it's a big shot right there by Derek Thomas II. They're now 4 of 8 to start this game.
The Eagles look to pressure a bit as Chestnut gets to the rim and finishes with the left hand.
Now 4 away for Chestnut. Big lay-in right there, trying to stop this Post scoring start to this game. It's now 12-6.
We need a countdown graphic on the screen for points to 1K.
Yeah.
Williams outside. Thomas II off the head fake, looks to drive, and his reverse layup is good.
That was a phenomenal move right there by Derek Thomas II, going up and under, reverse lay-in, back up to 8.
Goldstein uses the Kone screen. Lott stays with him well beyond the arc. Goldstein now on the drive, finds Kone. His hook shot goes down.
And I think that's been one of the more impressive things we've seen this season for Kone's development, Joe. His post movement has been really strong, and he gets a nice post move floater right there.
Corner 3 from Lott off the mark. And another big rebound by Thomas II. His fadeaway is good, and he now has 7.
And at a flash, it feels like, Joe, he's gotten those 7. Thomas II really heating up in this game, and you mentioned it, really tough rebound going up against Kone on that play.
Tynes. Bounce pass for Chestnut. 15 on the shot clock. Chestnut surveys the floor, finds Goldstein for 3. Splash.
And it didn't seem like he had too much space on that play. Had a hand in his face. It did not matter. That one is another AG3.
Our first AG3 of the night. This is Williams. Out to Thomas II, left open. Can't make the Dolphins pay this time as Benedict has the rebound.
A strong rebound for Benedict right there.
Tynes rolls off.
Foul, I believe, on Kone on the rebound.
That one a foul. As we get one more look at this AG3, well beyond the arc, and he had the 6'4" Lot with a hand up in front of him.
Yeah.
No deterrent for Goldstein.
There's not much you can do if you're Lot right there. You just shake your head and say, well, I gave it all I got on that play. Goldstein just with an incredible shot.
Williams will bring it up. This is Scully on the wing, feet inside. Stanley Niekwe just checked into the game. He had his back to the basket as Thompson finishes the layup, and that will prompt the Dolphins timeout.
Yeah, I think it's been frustrating early on this game, Joe, that the way that the Eagles have started shooting, they now go into this timeout with a remarkable 57.1% field goal percentage with a now 7-point lead with 13-14 to go in the half.
30-second timeout called by the Dolphins will keep us right here with 13-14 to go in this first half. And you said it before, Nick, the Dolphins typically have not gotten off to slow starts, especially here at home. Thinking back, I think their slowest start that I've covered may have been at Florida Southern College, maybe perhaps a bit of a slow start at Stack as well, but every time they've gotten off to even a remotely sluggish start, they've found a way to bounce back. How can they get back a bit closer here, trailing by 7 at the 13-minute mark?
I think first it comes on the defensive side right now, Joe, because we've seen the Dolphins defense play really big dividends for them this season. Right now, the Eagles have been scoring at a very high level, and they've got to find a way to stop them from doing that.
This is Benedict, bounce pass for Chestnut, and he was fouled by Holden. Second team foul on the Eagles. Dolphins inbound from the baseline. 20 to shoot. This is Tynes.
I think a foul was called on Goldstein on the screen. He was trying to get Chestnut open on that play, but in the process, call for the offensive foul.
Eagles ball following the Dolphins foul, looking to extend a 7-point lead. You mentioned what the Dolphins need to do defensively, Nick, and it's an 8 of 14 start for the Eagles as
they give it right back on an offensive foul as well.
They gave it right back. That's exactly right. First turnover of the game for Post over 7 minutes in. Dolphins have turned it over 4 times. Chestnut with it. Williams defending.
Looking at the 5 on the court. Don't know the last time we've seen this 5 on the court for this CSI team.
Torres with it on the inside. And his fadeaway jumper is good. That's a shot he likes.
Yeah, it is a shot he most certainly likes. Torres has really been improving as well, Joe, over this course of time. He's been a player that's been really reliable for this Dolphins bench.
Hasn't gotten huge minutes, but when he's gotten time out there on the floor and been called upon to score, he has shown the ability to do so as the travel was called on Gianni Thompson. Here's one more look.
Got just enough space, gets that fadeaway jumper to fall, and I mentioned before, you know, the 5 the Dolphins have out here, you know, you look at it right now, you have Chestnut, you have Goldstein, Benedict, Torres, and Tynes. So you have 2 of the freshmen here on the court. You have of course, your couple of your stars in there as well. But it effectively means that Tynes and Torres are your guys inside of the paint that you're looking forward to. But we know that they're very, very capable outside shooters as well.
And that's a word I keep coming back to, or have said many times, versatility with this Dolphins team. Players who can score it inside and out, can give you strong two-way efforts. And that's important. And you know, Coach Tibbs prioritizes that. Players who can give you strong efforts at both the offensive and defensive end, as Goldstein couldn't finish that tough shot.
Almost looks similar to the highlight we saw earlier where Goldstein cutting towards the net, but good defense inside of the paint right there by the Eagles.
After a slow start shooting, the Dolphins now 5 of 12. And jump ball is called. Possession arrow favors CSI, and that will send us to a media timeout.
And Joe, I don't know if you saw it, but I think on that tie-up, Goldstein might have dislocated his finger potentially. I won't speculate what happened, but he's in some pain.
No, we won't speculate any further. And I would assume if it was an apparent dislocation, he'd head over to the trainer's table. Nick, I think it was something else.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And we will head to break with the Dolphins trailing by 5. And we are back from the tank, where Post University leads the College of Staten Island 18-13. Just over 8 minutes gone by here in the first half, and Aaron Goldstein still out there despite some apparent discomfort after that last tie-up. And he's quickly doubled.
Had some discomfort right there on that tie-up.
This is Wiggin to the basket. Threw up an air ball, can't touch it, and the Eagles control. Post now looking to push. This is Holden off the shot fake for 3. No good. Rebound tipped and saved by Benedict. Goldstein for Wiggin left open. Can't hit the mid-range jumper. And the rebound was snatched in by Scully. He finds Lott at the rim. Bank shot won't go. And Chestnut has the rebound. A neck-breaking pace right now. Benedict for 3.
Benedict knocks down the triple. Good transition right there for the Dolphins. And good heads-up awareness by Benedict, realizing that they were crashing towards inside the paint. He knocks down that triple to make it now a 2-point game.
Lott. Bounce pass for Aycock. He looks to back in. His fall-away jumper is good. And the Eagles are back in front by 4.
Big-time shot right there for the Eagles, Joe. You see the Dolphins making a little bit of a run of their own now. Cut the deficit to within 2. Now it's back up to 4.
Chestnut directing traffic has Wiggin. Wiggin goes to work. Free throw line floater off the back rim and pulled in by Aycock. Scully uses the Aycock screen. He gets inside and lays it in.
And he took full advantage of that screen, as you mentioned, Joe. Good job by him. Goes immediately towards the paint, and that's where a lot of the points have been given up by the Dolphins in this half, it feels like, Joe. It's been inside of that paint.
We're just beyond the midway point in the first half. Wiggin inside, lays it in.
Quickly, the Dolphins go right back up the court. It's Wiggin that responds right there on that lay-in.
After hitting his first shot, Wiggin was 1 of 4 before that last make. Now 2 for 5, leading the Dolphins with 6 points. Holden swings it to Aycock for 3. Short. And good box out by Goldstein, forcing Aycock to tip it out of bounds.
Let's get a look at that last three-pointer made by Benedict. You see right here, Chestnut gets the rebound, sees Benedict on the outside. Benedict stops, pops, and knocks it down.
Well, that was 3 or 4 straight possessions that lasted for less than 6 seconds. Both teams flying up and down the floor. Wiggin, the inbounder.
Needs some help.
Finds Benedict. Pulls it in. And Torres is left open. Splash.
And Torres now with 5 early points in this half. He knocks down that wide open 3.
It doesn't seem to matter whose number's called on this Dolphins team, Nick. They find a way to contribute. Both ends of the floor. You said it now. Torres with 5 points, CSI's second leading scorer. 9 minutes to go in the half. 10 to shoot. Lots pull up over. Kone goes down.
That was a really tough shot considering the size of Kone. Really good shot right there.
Torres lost the handle, and it was tipped out of bounds by Thompson.
And this play, Joe, we'll see right here, the three for Torres. It almost was a disaster to start because they almost turned it over on that pass. Good job by Wiggin. He's able to bring it up with one hand, goes up the court, and finds a wide open Torres for three.
This is Kone along the baseline. And he converts through the contact. Count it. And one.
That is a really tough basket right there by Kone. Immediately got it off of the inbound pass, went straight up with it, got the contact, got the N1, and he'll have a chance to tie the game.
You made the point before, Nick. Kone's improvement in the low post has been significant. They've looked to get him a lot of touches back to the basket one-on-one this year. Didn't get quite as many of those last year, and that's expected with the presence of Messiah Mallory. I don't think anybody would argue against the fact that he's been the best player for the Dolphins at the Division II level. But there are a lot of players on this team who hope that after 4 years they can join that conversation as well.
Yeah, we talked about, Goldstein's numbers on the season. We talked about it last game. He's in great contention to be the ECC Player of the Year, and he's definitely making that case.
Williams kicks out to an open Limerick for three.
Wide open shot right there, and an immediate answer right back for the Eagles. Dolphins get a three earlier, and now they get one right there.
Well, the Eagles have used a lot of players in this game, as Goldstein's feed to Kone resulted in a tie-up.
And they get a foul underneath.
Yeah, it looked like that one was headed for a jump ball, but instead the Eagles commit a foul. The Eagles have already used 10 players in this game. Dolphins have used just 7.
And after that slow start offensively for the Dolphins, Joe, now they're shooting at just about around 47% in this first half, so those numbers are starting to go up.
The way they've shot the ball this year, it's hard to imagine you can keep them down for 20 minutes straight, as Wiggin kept that one from going into the backcourt.
Very nice play by Wiggin right there. You mentioned it. Saved a turnover.
Torres for Kone, for Wiggin, and he throws it down.
How about the ball movement right there, Joe? They save it from going over into the turnover, and Kone makes a nice find on the inside to see the cutting Wiggin on the dunk.
And when you have a group of talented scorers, as Limerick knocks down another three.
How about Limerick right now?
But when you have a group of talented scorers, there's always that trap of having an eye for just the basket. I don't think there's any Dolphin that has that issue. All very willing passers, as Kone is whistled for the moving screen.
Dolphins not happy. They thought the foul was right there on Walters on Goldstein, but that's not indeed the case, and we'll go to the media timeout. Before we do that, Joe, we'll take a last look at that sequence, the Dolphins' last field goal. They save it from the backcourt violation. Torres will hold on to it. He'll find Kone. Kone will get the screen, then gets the pass, and he gets another pass, finding Wiggin on the cut.
Well, Wiggin saved that possession. He's also the beneficiary as he throws that one down for 2 points. However, the Dolphins still trail by 5. Our score with 7:36 to go in the first half. Post 30 and Staten Island 25. And we are back from the tank with 7:36 to go in the first half. Post over Staten Island, 30-25, and what has been really a shooting clinic early on.
Yeah. Right on cue, a turnover.
Dolphins force a turnover. Well, the Eagles had no turnovers for the first 7 minutes. They now have 4. The Dolphins at that time had 4 turnovers. Since then, they have just 1.
And you mentioned the shooting clinic. Both teams now shooting over 50% in this game. Dolphins exactly 50%. The Eagles shooting 59%.
Torres on the elbow, pulls up, and comes up short. Eagles racing back the other way. Scully kicks out to Lott. In and out from 3. Benedict in heavy traffic snatches the rebound.
To no surprise, he's the one that comes down with it.
Benedict back to the basket, finds Tynes. Tynes with the fall away jumper, rattles out. That's a shot we've seen him hit many times in the last few games. Williams outside for Scully, off the head fake. He frees himself up and comes up short from 3. Dolphins back the other way. Chestnut. Tied up.
Almost
and
like foul, yeah.
JJ thought that whistle was going to come sooner, and I don't believe they're going to award 2 shots on that one.
And I agree with that, Joe. I don't think that was in the act of shooting. Yeah, I think that was just before he went up with it.
Dolphins bench was petitioning for it. I don't think they like that one much, Nick.
For once, I agree on the side of the officials.
Yeah.
For once.
Well, what I was going to say is I don't think we tend toward either direction.
Yeah.
I think it's more so that when we don't feel like they got it right, we say something.
Right.
As Benedict can turn it into a 3-point possession.
How about that shot by Benedict? And more importantly, Joe, with that last foul, the Dolphins now are in the bonus for the remainder of the half.
Well, any protest that was coming from the Dolphins bench quickly quieted by Andrew Benedict, as we'll get one more look at that fadeaway jumper. Over 2 defenders through the contact. Chance for one more at the line, and he knocks down the free throw.
And we spoke about this earlier in the year with Benedict as well as head coach TJ Tibbs. They have really loved the improvement he's been making this season. As a freshman, it's really hard to just step onto the court on campus and just really make a big impact. That's exactly what he's done this season.
Scully on the wing. Swings it. This is Thomas II. Back out to Scully for 3. Off back iron and rebounded by Wiggin.
Very tough rebound by Wiggin. Had to go up with one hand on that play.
In transition. It's an AB3.
How about Benedict? He's starting to heat up now, Joe. He's been red hot since coming off of the bench.
Benedict now with 9. He's 3 for 3 from the field. And the Eagles turn it over. And Wiggin was fouled.
Let's get a look at that entire sequence on the last possession right there, Joe. Great one-handed rebound by Wiggin. He finds Chestnut behind him. Chestnut finds Benedict. Benedict knocks down the 3. He's been off to a phenomenal start here in this first half.
That will send Mitchell Wiggin to the line.
Have a 1-and-1 upcoming. As I mentioned before, the Dolphins now are in the bonus.
And Wiggin hits the first.
And now Benedict, Joe, meanwhile, since coming off the bench, 3 for 3, 2 of 2 from the three-point line, 9 points. That leads the Dolphins. Up until, of course, that last free throw.
They'll tend to a wet spot on the floor there. Wiggin 2 for 2 from the stripe.
Wiggin now with 10 points in the half. He and Bent have accounted for 19 of the Dolphins' 33 points.
This is Lott. Out to Scully. Scully got it right back from Thomas II as the Eagles work it around the perimeter. Williams off the crossover. Kicks into the corner. And Lott sees his three-pointer go in and out.
And now the Eagles starting to slow a little bit down, Joe. On the offensive side, they're starting to miss their last couple shots.
Goldstein got caught in the air and was able to get it outside as Tynes is fouled on the 3.
And that is a really tough foul right there if you're Thomas II now. Tynes will go to the line for 3 free throws. And the Dolphins now, Joe, are 1 foul away from being in the double bonus.
Dolphins in the midst of an 8-0 run, and they've completely turned this game around these last several minutes.
And that's where if you're a team like Post, you really can't afford that to happen. You know, you have the great start offensively. But if you give the Dolphins any chance as this game goes on to make a run, they're going to capitalize, and they're going to make you pay for it.
Tynes hits each of the first 2 free throws. And, Nick, I was taking a look back to the last meeting between these two teams because the pace at which this game has been played at times has made it possible to confuse this basketball game with a track meet, the way they've been running back and forth up the floor. But last time these two teams met, the Eagles attempted 66 shots, the Dolphins 53. Trying to get a look at where we were in terms of that pace. And right now, we are headed in that same direction again, with both teams well on their way to 30 shot attempts in this first half. Tough shot there by Williams, didn't get the bounce. Rebound was pulled in by Niekwe. Another chance for Post with Scully. Niekwe feeds it inside to Aycock. Niekwe for 3. No good. Chestnut with the rebound.
It's been a couple minutes now since the Eagles last made field goal.
Benedict off from 3.
That one they called the proverbial heat check right there.
It was a warranted heat check the way he's been playing in this first half. Aycock goes at Chestnut, lost it. Now Niekwe for Scully. Scully harassed by Tynes. This is Lott with 10 to shoot. Lott off the fake, tied up, bounce pass, tipped and stolen. Goldstein looking, finds Tynes for 3. Splash.
And you knew eventually that was going to go down for him, Joe. An ET3. He knocks it down. It's a 3 right there, and I believe a foul as well underneath on the rebound attempt. And I think that was on the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, as well. That's now their 10th team foul.
And with that, I think they award a 1-and-1 in college. In the NBA, it would be 1 shot. But the signal to the scorer's table was 1-and-1. Let's get one more look. The question also becomes, did the foul occur after the shot? It sure did.
Sure did.
The basket counts.
How about that celebration from Tynes after that shot was made?
Never a bad time to celebrate an ET3, especially when you're ET himself.
Of course.
But Nick, this game has been played with a relentless pace, and that's something I'm certainly going to ask Coach Tibbs about.
And you have to love the pace. It's gone now for the Dolphins, and what seems as if, maybe the last 5 to 10 minutes, it's been going all towards CSI. The Eagles starting to really struggle from the field now. They haven't made a shot in a while. Meanwhile, the Dolphins, it feels like they're making every single shot they take right now.
Well, going back to our last TLC Physical Therapy halftime report, completely off topic. Coach Tibbs said he didn't want to have any conversation with a ghost.
Okay. So you're going to bring that up?
I might have to come back with a vengeance. I have to admit, during that game, my internet was far from stable.
Well, you were poolside for
not for that first game.
No, for that
first game.
For the next game, you were poolside, so maybe you got a little bit of a tan.
You think I tanned it all?
I don't know. You looked at yourself. You weren't confident in it. So
I'm never confident in, the darkness of my complexion.
So, Joe, meanwhile,
I'd like to think I have the tall and handsome part. I don't quite have the dark going for me.
You were correct, meanwhile, about the play afterwards. Benedict is going to go to the free throw line. Dolphins now have been fouled 10 times in the half.
And he will get 2 shots here as the Dolphins are in the double bonus.
Chance of a 5-point play for CSI on this possession. Don't see it very often.
I'm not sure I've ever seen it at all.
Yeah.
Not this time. Hashtag jinxed.
And what's the run now? 15-0, I believe? 30-25, I think, at one point.
15-0.
15-0 run.
For someone who doesn't have the live stats open, you have a good memory.
I try.
You're doing well. I felt a slight drop in my cognition since I got started 10 years ago. Scully's fadeaway, no good. Rebounded by Benedict.
Well, we did have the fortunate sequence that ended the last broadcast.
We need to explain exactly what happened
Yes.
there. So, for those who didn't watch it, in our last women's game, I mistakenly said that our next broadcast was coming up on Wednesday because our conference doubleheaders are typically on Wednesday. The next game, of course, tonight's game, falls on a Tuesday as Benedict looked to drive his floater and air ball. Aycock with the rebound, but I could hear myself in my headset on a bit of a delay during our most recent broadcast because I was remote. So I'm getting the entire broadcast audio feed looped back to me. For that reason, when I was speaking, I had that audio muted so that I could speak. While it was muted, you were correcting me and letting me know the game was not Wednesday, it was Tuesday. I did not hear you because it was muted. Aycock's three on the second chance, no good. And we will stay right here. But because I could not hear you, you were forced to correct me twice. I still did not correct myself. And it made for a very awkward sequence during the last broadcast where you had to tell me multiple times that our next broadcast was Tuesday.
I think the funniest part was you said the first Wednesday. I go, well.
You did. And I listened to it back after. It was funny. We can't trim that out on Flow. You can't re-upload a broadcast to Flow that I know of. You can on Huddle, which I like. As that shot way off the mark. Torres met by Williams will bring it back outside with 2 minutes to go. And Chestnut was fouled. He will head to the line for two shots.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, Joe. Needed 6 points coming into the night to get that 1,000 mark. He currently has just 2. Well, these 2 free throws could potentially make it within 4. Or could have 4 and make it within 2.
I will flex my mental muscle here. If I remember correctly, Messiah Mallory reached 1,000 at the free throw line.
Yes.
Bryce Waterman, if I'm not mistaken, reached it on a 3.
Yeah.
I think I was in attendance on public address when Christian Taylor reached 1,000 points. Next nearest Dolphin to do it. And I think he did it at the free throw line.
And I think I was on public address for the previous 2 that you mentioned to start.
You may have also been on PA when they presented Christian his 1,000 point marker.
I think
for
so.
the board.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, I think I was.
I think they did that against Pace last year. And if I recall, that game did not go well for the Dolphins. As Aycock finishes inside, that makes it a single-digit game again. And it just seems like in the blink of an eye, Nick, the Dolphins turned what was a deficit into a double-digit lead. As Torres knocks down a 3.
Torres has been shooting with confidence these last couple of minutes, Joe. Another 3 for the CSI team, and he makes it now a 12-point lead for the Dolphins.
Well, the Eagles at one point were shooting well above 50%. They are nearing 40% right now. And that will help just a bit as Williams converts through contact. He'll head to the line for one more.
Well, it's been really impressive tonight in this first half. But speaking of impressive, look at this play right here, Joe. Torres, thinking about it, the hesitation, forcing a big time open shot for him. He knocks down that 3.
Back to a 10-point game as Brody Limerick, who had a couple of three-pointers off the bench, will check back in here.
And keep in mind, Joe, Wiggin, Torres, and Benedict, for the most part this season, have been coming off the bench for the Dolphins this year. They are getting big-time minutes tonight. And Wiggin, of course, in the starting lineup, he has 10. Benedict, he has 10. Torres now has 8.
Tynes. Splash.
Another ET3. Tynes now starting to heat up.
You can't leave him that open, Nick. Off to a 1-for-4 start before that make, but you give him that much room, that much time, he's not going to miss very often. Williams, in and out. Benedict has another rebound, his 5th. Chestnut for Tynes. Splash.
Oh, my goodness. E.T., do not go home.
You know, I was wondering who might be the first to do that.
Someone had to do it.
Well, there was a game where I said that Tynes was going to send the opponent home with that make. He had a big three late, and I hinted at it, but not that direct. 10 seconds to go in the half. Lott for three, and that's a big make for Lott as his team was down 15. This is Goldstein. 1 second on the clock. It will count. No good. And that will send us to halftime with the Dolphins leading 50-38. The TLC Physical Therapy halftime report with men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs coming up. And we're joined courtside by men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs for the TLC Physical Therapy halftime report. And coach, at times during that first half, Nick and I were confusing this game for a track meet. Do you think the pace plays to your team's advantage? It seemed like it helped you build that lead.
Well, we hit shots. The ball finally went in. I was only upset the first 4 minutes of the game. I was upset with the type of shots that we take. You know, Post is a really physical team, really well-coached team, right? Mark is one of the best coaches in the region. They're always really good, right? So, like, we were playing their style of basketball in the fast pace the first 4 minutes for sure. And then we started getting to the rim a little bit. Even though the shots weren't falling, I thought we were getting some good ones. And then we kind of went on one of those patented runs that we could go on where you just, you know, you feel like they're going to come at some point. But it starts on the defensive end. I mean, we really turned up the intensity. Also coupled with them missing some shots, they were really hot. I mean, their 4 and 5 men are really drilling it from three, and that put some pressure on our defense. But we were able to get some stops, and we were able to get out in transition, and that's what we were able to make a run. But we still got to clean a lot of things up.
And my next question was going to be about defense. At one point, they were shooting nearly 60%. Hard to sustain that, but you dropped their shooting close to 40 late in that first half. How did you manage to do it?
Effort, communication. Shout out to Brandon Torres, right? He didn't play last game, and he came in. He had a huge impact on what we did. He still needs to clean things up, but he's a freshman. So I thought we fought hard. You see guys like, I don't know how many points AG has, but it doesn't really matter right now. He's playing some defense. He's giving some effort. He needs to put his mind on staying solid at some times. But him, JJ Chestnut leading the group and making sure we're playing well defensively.
Coach, I know you had one more thing you wanted to say before we signed off for halftime, so I'll turn the mic over to you.
Yeah, so we lost a very valued member of our program. So Joey Poulin has been out. Obviously, I've been wearing his jersey, and we've been mum on the situation. But Joey's mother, Marcy, passed away on January 1st. And, you know, Joey, his father, Peter, sister, Renna, the entire Poulin family, Marcy's family, our heart goes out to them. We're thinking of them all the time. We're playing for them energy-wise. And, you know, the one thing I just want to communicate is that, you know, Joey's been in and out, and I'm sure he'll be back at some point. But he's really my hero. He's really somebody who I admire. I'm his sister, too, as well. But I've been fortunate that his mother, Marcy, gave him to me and our program. And you know, I keep a lot of things private, but the biggest thing about it is, you know, Marcy's son plays for me, but Marcy's legacy lives on through her son and her kids especially. I got to spend some time with them recently, and they're incredible. They're an inspiration for everybody, and everybody out there, you know, it's the holidays, you know, group of kids and their family going through a tough time, you know, say a prayer for my kid and his sister and his father and the rest of their family. Marcy was an incredible woman, the best athlete in their family, for sure. But I'm fortunate that I wouldn't be connected with Joey if she didn't come down here and trust me to have him in the program. And with all things going on in college basketball today, and with something that is tragic and traumatic, I'm blessed and I'm thankful to be to have that family be in my life, to be in that family's life. And, we miss Joey. We're going to get a chance to pay respects to his mother. But everything that we're doing is with that in mind. So I couldn't imagine what he's going through. But we support him in every single way possible. And if he's not here physically, he's here. We're thinking about him all the time. So we love you. We love the Poulin family. I know they're watching. I know they're always watching. And I know Marcy's watching.
All right, Coach, thank you for sharing that. That is our TLC, Physical Therapy Halftime Report with men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs.
We've learned a lot from him, and we've probably learned more from him than he's learned from us.
I think they're a real important part in my life. I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact is a national nonprofit that connects kids living with serious and chronic illness with college athletic teams, forming lifelong bonds and life-changing outcomes.
Give me a break it! Break it!
Can I have a hug? What's your favorite subject?
Math.
When you spread the word about Team Impact, you have the power to change lives.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. If you could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Team Impact, we pair kids who have been sidelined by serious illness and disability with college teams from across the country.
What's up, big man? You good?
It's more than a single-day meet and greet or photo opportunity. Our program places kids on a multi-year journey, becoming true members of a collegiate athletics team.
We are Penn State.
From signing day to game day.
I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact. All in, all together.
Joe Foreman back with you alongside Nicholas Pavona from the College of Staten Island, where the Dolphins lead it 50-38 at halftime over Post University. And obviously, Nick, a very powerful message from men's basketball head coach TJ Tibbs during our TLC physical therapy halftime report as the men's basketball program and the Poulin family is mourning the loss of Marcy Poulin. Joe not with the team, but the Dolphins putting this effort tonight together in her memory. And so far, Nick, it's gone well. They lead by 12 as we get set to begin the second half, and they have done a lot of good things tonight at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, and it was a slow start to this game, Joe, which is very, unfamiliar with this team this season. And head coach TJ Tibbs talked about that, where after the first couple of minutes, he wasn't really happy with the shot selections the Dolphins were taking. But once the Dolphins found their groove, they really started to get things going, and they really shot the lights out before this half ended. They go into halftime shooting over 51% from the field, over 56% from the three-point line. And they had some really big, strong performances as well from a couple of big players. We talked about it before halftime. Benedict off the bench with 10 points. Brandon Torres off the bench with 8 points. Wigging in the start tonight, he has 10 points. Eric Tynes, meanwhile, as we saw at the end of that first half, really catching fire with 3 threes. He's got 12 going into this half.
And Coach Tibbs said it in a very matter-of-fact way when he mentioned one of those runs that this team could go on. And he said, just one of those runs we can go on. But it just seems like every game there is one of those runs where this team simply cannot miss. And at the defensive end, they find a way to come away with stops every possession, get out, get running, and in transition, they manage to knock down a lot of those three-pointers.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's only a matter of time when that stuff happens for this team. Even if they get down to an early deficit, which we saw in this game, it's only going to be a matter of time before shots start falling for them. And we always like to say that law of averages, it really paid out for the Dolphins to end the first half, giving them this 12-point lead to start the second.
Eagles with it. Aycock short on the turnaround, and the floater is good on the immediate putback.
That's a basket you feel like the Eagles needed to start the half. They missed the initial shot, but Aycock gets his own offensive rebound, gets the floater to fall, and puts his team now back within 10.
We look at the first half in terms of inside scoring. The Dolphins just 12 of their 50 points coming in the paint. Has Goldstein off a couple of fakes, has 2 more inside.
And that's what they call patience right there, Joe, because he could have immediately went up with it after that pass, but he knew he had a couple defenders behind him, and he did a great job to go up with that one.
Dolphins back in front by 12, but I was about to say the Dolphins coming into the half with 12 of their 50 in the paint. For post, they had 18 of their 38 on the inside as Williams knocks down a 3.
That's a big shot right there by Williams. He's had himself a really impressive night so far. Another big-time shot makes it now a single-digit lead for the Dolphins.
Williams now in double figures. He has 10 on 4 of 6. Tynes off the back rim and tipped into the hands of Aycock.
Wiggins trying to grab another one-handed rebound right there, but to no avail.
Thomas, the second off glass, can't hit, but he was fouled.
Fouled by Chestnut on the play. He'll go to the free throw line. And Joe, let's get a last sequence right there. That play by Goldstein. You see right here, Wiggins gets the pass from Chestnut, finds Goldstein underneath, and Goldstein, you see it once, twice, finally goes up with it. Good patience and good awareness to go up with that too.
And they lost Tynes on that play again as well. As the free throw is good by Thomas II. That's just the second free throw attempt of the game for Post. Dolphins went to the line 13 times in the first 20 minutes, hit 9 of them. Thomas II goes 2 for 2 here. CSI lead back down to 7.
Let's not forget as well, Joe, Chestnut with 3 points is a 3 away for getting 1,000 in his career as a foul is called.
Well, Nick, I have to admit, it's a good thing you said something, because if you didn't, I may have forgotten.
That would have been pretty awkward if the 3 happened and we forgot.
You would have picked me up.
Yeah, I would. That's what we're here for. We always pick each other up.
Now you're flexing the mental muscle.
I try my best.
15 to shoot. Chestnut with it. He crosses over. Bounce pass now to Goldstein for 3. Short. And Wiggin throws it off Thomas II.
How about that play by Wiggin?
That's one of those where you're Thomas II and you see Wiggin coming over with the ball in his hands, and you're like, darn it, because you know you're about to get pegged with the ball.
Yeah. Not an ideal spot for you to be in when that happens. Meanwhile, Joe, keep in mind, they only got 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Watch that alley-oop. Down goes Kone.
And TJ Tibbs not happy about that play.
Well, he thought he was fouled. I will say, though, Nick, at the end of that first half, before we spoke to Coach Tibbs, he appeared as pumped up and pleased with his team's effort going into halftime as we've seen in a while. He was energized as he made his way over here.
And I think it's a testament to how they ended that half, because it really started off slow, but they ended it really strong.
That three-pointer no good by Williams. I thought you were going to say it's because he knew I was back and he'd get a chance to speak to me again. Goldstein dribbles through traffic and throws it in off the window.
How did that go in, Joe?
I have no idea.
That's almost not as similar to the play we had last game, but it's one where it's a head-scratcher, but it's 2 points for him.
Well, the one that went in last game was a freak incident. That one, an aggressive drive to the basket in the midst of heavy traffic. And Goldstein threw it off glass and in as Lott knocks down the three.
Big shot by Lott right there. Back to a 6-point game, and the Eagles now start to hit from the outside mark to start the second half.
Goldstein with it. Dolphins leading by just 6. Chestnut on the drive. Puts one in.
1 point away right there.
J.J. Chestnut 1 point away from 1,000.
Will he go to the free throw line like, what would you say, was it Mallory, right?
Mallory went to the line.
Waterman was the 3.
Taylor was at the line. I announced that one on PA, and Waterman was a 3. And speaking of threes, Aycock from downtown. The Eagles are now 3 of 4 from downtown since halftime.
And how difficult is that, Joe, where you have a 6'7" forward shooting an outside shot like that? It's really tough to defend a guy like that.
Well, the Dolphins' opponents would know a thing or two about that with Tynes. Chestnut tied up. And Tynes traveled.
Tynes are going to make an impact right there. And now a chance for Post right here on this possession to make it a one-possession game. Don't hear that term too often in basketball. Of course, that's a football terminology, but that's indeed the case.
I always bring that up late in the game. Number of possessions that you're down, probably the most important thing when you get into those final 2 minutes. If you can keep it within one possession, you're always in the game. Even 2.
That last foul charge to Goldstein, now his second. Was wondering if that was on Chestnut, because that would have been his 3rd. But it was indeed on Goldstein, his 2nd, and free throws are coming right here for Williams.
Can't have him pick up a 3rd foul on 9-9-9.
It's true.
But right now, the Dolphins have much bigger concerns as their lead is now just 4.
Williams now with 11 points in this game.
And his second free throw is good to make it a one-possession game.
Let's see how the Dolphins go off this inbound pass. They're heavy pressure right there coming out from the Eagles.
The Dolphins will need a touchdown to go up double digits now.
That's true.
Don't forget the PAT.
Steelers almost forgot it on Sunday.
Well, they did, and they got bailed out.
They did get bailed out.
That was a great game, though.
And, I think we got lost in that play. I know we're getting off topic, but I think it was blocked when I watched the replay.
Oh, yeah?
And I think that's why it got redirected like that.
Okay.
So maybe that was the reason why it was missed, but it was still, as you mentioned, a great game. But speaking of great games, Joe, we have a really good one brewing between these two teams.
We do, but we also have a media timeout, so I'm going to remain off topic. And so where I called the game, the last women's game on Friday, that's also where I watched the Steelers game.
Oh, okay.
We have an outdoor TV that was mounted to the wall. So I got to watch all of the football this past week outdoors. And now I'm motivated to get myself a setup outdoor on my balcony.
Yeah.
Even though it won't be in the Florida sunshine.
It will be in the freezing cold at this current point in time.
Well, at different points in the year, I can take in my baseball outside.
You could.
Big baseball fan. One of the teams that aren't perpetually disappointing in the Phillies, so there's some optimism there.
You have that at least.
I have that. I also have the Knicks. It was a disappointing end to the season.
Outside the last 3 games, but
well, it was not a good trip in Florida. The Knicks did not win much while I was down there, but Fortunately, I didn't have to attend any of those games because I wasn't in New York.
Yeah, that's true.
Though they were
That's
road
true.
games, I believe.
There was, no, 2 of them were home.
2?
Yep.
Well, didn't attend those, that's for sure.
You know what was funny? So I think the last broadcast, I was telling you how I was going to be at the St. John's Providence game.
Yes.
I did not end up going to that game, and I'm grateful I didn't because St. John's proceeded to blow a 10-point lead in under 5 minutes.
Well, I was about to say, Nick, nobody likes a liar, but in this case, it's okay.
In my defense, it was because my friend forgot to unlist his tickets on StubHub.
Ooh. Well.
And then he had an issue with StubHub, so he had to go to the game last minute. It's a whole story that I'll save for off there.
Nick, I'm in the midst of an issue with StubHub as we speak.
I told them that you've been having issues with
It's
StubHub.
been very bad.
Yeah.
But don't get me.
I don't want to get you riled up.
Yeah. Let's get back to the action here as we had a foul called away from the play on the baseline.
It was such a weird sequence that, like I said, I'll explain to you off the air. But, yeah, I
Nick,
initially was going, then wasn't going.
You're getting me riled up.
Yeah, I know. It's a whole thing that happened. And it was funny because I saw him on TV. I said, wait a second. I thought you told me
he's
you weren't.
that close.
Yeah, we sit on the lower 100s.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Well, I'm that close for the Rangers. Unfortunately, I hemorrhage money for those seats.
Yeah,
I'm counting down the remaining games until I'm out
season.
from under those.
Been a rough season for the Rangers.
If you know anybody who wants front row Ranger tickets, I know a guy.
I definitely know people that would take it.
Great. Tell him to give me a call.
Sure.
Chestnut on the drive for 1,000 career points.
There it is right there for Chestnut. Big time bucket, 1,000 career points, and a 5-point Dolphin lead.
And Anthony, they know it on PA.
Anthony putting a little bit of emphasis on that one right there.
Unfortunately, we just had the media timeout, so he will be acknowledged during the next stoppage as Williams gets inside and draws a foul.
He'll have a chance right here. This is not like the NFL where you stop the game mid-play like they did with Myles Garrett on Sunday.
No comment.
No comment. But let's get a look at the history-making play right here, Joe. Chestnut goes up, takes the contact, gets that lane to go. And how many times do we see that over his Dolphins tenure, making moves like that?
It's a good thing I wasn't ranting about StubHub when JJ scored 1,000.
I at least made sure to stop my point of emphasis on that.
I'll leave our viewers with the word of wisdom. If you're a buyer, StubHub is excellent.
Yes.
If you're a seller, you'll move your tickets the quickest, but you will be bombarded with headaches.
Yeah.
Ugh.
See, I stopped talking about it. Now you've brought it back
Well,
up.
you started it.
Well, I did start it.
Free throw good by Williams.
But it all tied into what happened.
Well, you know now.
We were talking about bad games at MSG. I didn't want to be a part of a bad game at MSG.
Goldstein with it. Big crossover. Doubled inside, finds Torres. Torres off the spin. Looked like he might try that fadeaway again.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was about to take that shot right there.
Looked like it. Goldstein, step back three. Splash.
Good as gold on that one, Joe. Long range three.
Dolphins by 6. Just over 14 and a half to play. Thomas the second with it now. Defended by Tynes. This is Lott, top of the arc. Deep three on the way. Holden. No good. And Chestnut has the rebound.
Nice rebound right there by Chestnut.
Tynes. Splash.
It started to become a three-point parade for the Dolphins. Tynes with another three right there. They're back up 9.
And how often does Tynes end up on the floor after those corner threes?
It seems to be too often, but he doesn't care.
Lott for 3. No good. Benedict with it now. Dolphins looking to push. Benedict spins and banks it in.
How about that one? A little bit of pizzazz right there for Benedict.
Pizzazz.
Why not?
Not a word I had entering the broadcast tonight.
That was on your bingo card? Congratulations.
Well, Lou and Joe are having a grand old time on stats over there.
Not sure why, but why not?
Joe's all up in his business. He's got the hand on the shoulder. That's Lott with the lay-in.
Coach Cal, they call
I think he actually has his hand on the chair.
Yes, he does.
Okay. I'll have to find out what's going on over there.
So many highlights we have to recap, Joe, these last couple of plays.
Let's stay right here. Dolphins lead by 9. As you get one more look at that last ET3, down he goes, count the basket, no foul.
No foul.
And we've said it more than once already this year, Nick. He gets a lot of foul calls on those three-pointers, and I think that's the reason why.
Speaking of three-pointers, I termed it last men's game, long-range splash right there for Goldstein.
Meanwhile, over public address, J.J. Chestnut recognized as the latest 1,000-point scorer in the history of the men's basketball.
Look at TJ Tibbs.
Man, it's too bad we didn't get that on camera.
We got it.
Well, we got it.
But, yeah.
You know, at the edge of the frame.
The edge of it, yeah.
It looked like JJ was reluctantly basking in the moment, only to have his coach pretend to be baffled by it.
Well, I think we might have a decent look in here. Right here.
We have an alternate look.
Let's look.
All right, JJ reluctantly basking in the moment.
I watched TJ Tibbs in the background. He's like, seriously? You just scored 1,000 points. And how about that team celebration?
Not going to pretend to know what that reference may have been.
You know, we've tried this on so many times to wonder what it's from.
We lost our pop culture guy.
Yeah, that's true. I had a maybe guess, but I don't want to guess it's that because it probably is wrong.
Yeah, but better not to say anything to sound foolish. You know, better not to mention which day the game is than to mention it incorrectly 3 times, right?
Tuesday.
That's what they always say, isn't it? Dolphins by 9, CSI basketball. Chestnut to the corner for Torres. Torres, step back jumper. Off the front rim, rebounded by Benedict.
It just seems like, Joe, every time there's a rebound and there's maybe 2 defenders on the opposing side, Benedict's always the one that comes down with it.
Just seems like he's always there, Nick.
It's pretty much a magnet towards the ball.
Well, I think, and the stats back it up as well. He's had a nice night, 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. But who was our player of the game last time?
Our last player of the game was Chestnut.
Well, looks like I might get a chance to talk to him as well, Nick.
Do we incorporate any singing from him?
No. Because that means I might have to sing, and that's not an option.
Well, you know you're not going to partake in any. But maybe he'll take the lead.
He can take the lead. It's going to be a solo, not a duet.
Take the lead and keep the lead.
Take the lead and keep on going.
Speaking of the lead, Dolphins are going to keep this lead that they currently have.
10 to shoot. Shot fake by Williams. Hop step. And that basket will not count.
And, you know, we talked about it before, where Lou and Joe were having a lot of laughs over there. They're going to start wondering why we're having a lot of laughs over here.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm paid to be jovial on the air.
Of course.
Because that is not in my day-to-day demeanor. You know?
I have no comment about that. I'm not sure what you want me to do about that.
Well, you could say, no, Joe, you're very jovial.
I try.
Nobody likes a liar.
Well. Now, I don't know if you noticed, Joe. I think they counted the basket now. They
okay,
did.
So they overturned the original decision.
And I thought that, too. I thought it wasn't and one.
Well, in that case, I thought perhaps they might be 2 points short on the scoreboard, but they got it. In fact, I think they put it up initially, as it would be Dolphins' ball. Free throw no good. Last touch by the Eagles. Benedict having a tough time getting it in, finds Chestnut. Chestnut, big crossover. Tough shot, can't finish. But he has another rebound and a turnover. Williams racing to the basket, lays it in, and the Eagles are back to within 5.
I was getting ready to make another play, but Williams with a nice defensive play, and you mentioned it now, a 5-point game.
Dolphins have not been able to shake post here in the second half. They led by double digits at halftime. Their advantage was 12. Chestnut off the back rim and out. Limerick with the rebound.
That's something that I highlighted before, Joe. Dolphins try to close out these games where they have double-digit leads at points at times, and they are getting into tight contests, and this one could be a tight contest towards the end. Next immediate timeout now remains a 5-point game.
Well, without a doubt, Nick, this Dolphins team has been battle-tested all season. And it looks like we're headed for another test here at home with the Dolphins leading it by 5. 11:57 to go in the second half. And we are back from the tank with the Dolphins leading by 5. Aycock for 3, and it's now a 2-point game.
Aycock has been really dynamic tonight, Joe. Knocks down another 3. This has been a great contest. These two teams shooting the lights out. 2-point game.
It has been an entertaining game. Torres. Over to Wiggin. 10 to shoot. Wiggin is fouled. That foul is number 4 on Post. The Dolphins, with 6, are 1 away from putting Post in the 1-and-1 bonus.
Aycock with that last 3 now. 17 points in this game. He's 3 of 5 from the outside mark.
Big spin. Goldstein can't finish with the left.
Yeah, if they push up the court, Joe, they'll have numbers.
Into the corner, and it looked like that pass was not intended.
And they got a big break because Benedict did steal the ball, but he was on the baseline out of bounds, so it's going back to Post.
I think Walters intercepted a pass for his teammate.
I believe you're right.
And then, very fortunately for the Eagles, the Dolphins came to rest on the baseline with it. But the Eagles have a chance to tie or take the lead. Williams, the inbounder, finds Aycock. Now Williams around the back, gets inside, and draws another foul.
And that now puts the Dolphins at over the limit. It's going to be 2 free throws on this right here, but they'll have a 1-and-1 and any other non-shooting foul coming up.
Well, I said it coming out of halftime when the Eagles went to the line for the first time in the second half. They had just 1 free throw attempt in the first 20 minutes. These free throws are going to be free throws 8 and 9.
And Williams is 5 for 6 from the free throw line.
I was ready to jump on it if you jinxed him, Nick.
He's now 6 of 7.
Trying your luck. 2 for 2. We're all knotted up at 66. And I'd like to see that score change very quickly.
Though, if the Dolphins get 1 more point.
Technically,
yeah.
66-66 is 433s, Nick.
That's true.
Goldstein will have a chance to break the tie from the line.
Do you see Goldstein? He looked at the rim and said, "Why must you do this to me?"
He thought he should have had that one. Very vocal fans up there in the stands.
That was not the fan show. That was the head coach.
That was the head coach?
Mm-hmm.
That was Coach Tibbs?
No.
Oh, other side.
Yes.
I was going to say Coach Tibbs, never.
Hey, Joe, you want I don't think that's a fan anymore.
Well,
no. Oh, no. I saw it, Joe. They did the 6-7 celebration in the stands.
if it were in my power, I would eject them.
That's why I was saying hopefully the Dolphins don't get 1 point. They at least get a 2-pointer before.
You're right.
I was trying to save it, but the free throws unfortunately gave that opportunity away.
Not only am I disconnected from pop culture, I have a strong disdain for most things pop culture.
The trend just does make no sense to me. I still don't understand it. I've been told what it is, and I still don't get it.
I'll explain it to you off the air.
You don't have to.
As Limerick knocks down another 3, his third on 3 tries.
Limerick has been dynamic off the bench, Joe. And, man, the Eagles, after what was a slow end of the first half, they have really been shooting well in the second.
That 3 gives Post the lead. As a foul was called underneath, Benedict drawing the foul and earning the Dolphins another possession. But Limerick now has 9 points in 5 minutes.
Hey, Joe, if you notice as well, that's 7 fouls now on the Eagles. So Benedict's going to rely for the 1-on-1.
And I think that's why the bench is upset. And that was quick. They were just on 4.
Yeah. Matter of seconds.
But going back to the point about pop culture, disconnected from, great disdain for, and with no social media, I really have no clue what's going on half the time. Free throw by Benedict, in and out, rebounded by Wiggin.
That's probably for the best, Joe.
I agree. That's why I choose to live that way. I hardly watch TV unless it's sports. As Goldstein draws the foul.
Honestly, yes.
I mean, I had
most of my shows I watch are on streaming platforms.
Well, I had to call it quits on new television and streaming programming several years ago. Won't get into that, but
I think the only thing I watch on TV, you mentioned it's sports, I think it's just Red Zone at this point. And even that, you can still stream it.
I haven't streamed any new TV shows either. I mean, I don't watch any entertainment really except movies, and that's only in the theater. And then I forget about it when I leave.
That means, folks, that Joe did not watch the Stranger Things finale that happened a couple days ago.
I did not. I've never watched a second of it.
Yeah, something tells me you wouldn't like that show.
Oh, yeah?
Something tells me you won't like it.
No comment.
Yeah. In fairness, the way it ended, I think a lot of people are also very unhappy that they watched it as well.
It's tough to stick the landing, Nick, and the ending is really the hardest part.
Yeah, I can't think of a TV show that's really had an ending where everyone was happy with it. I'm a big Sopranos fan myself, of course. I don't think anyone was happy with the way that ended.
I'll have to dig through the memory bank and see if I can pick one out. Meanwhile, the Dolphins take the lead back behind the 2 Goldstein free throws. Scully with the left does not get the roll, and Wiggin brings in the rebound. Here comes Goldstein the other way. He gets inside and can't finish.
Yeah, it looked like he went up just a little bit too quickly with that play. Had a nice move towards the basket, but might have lost it as he was going up with it. But Dolphins forcing the jump ball, and they'll get the ball right back.
Well, possession arrow favoring CSI will keep the ball with them. 20 to shoot, 9:43 to play in the second half. Goldstein into the corner for Benedict. Splash.
How about that find right there by Goldstein? You see him, Joe, pumped up as he should be. Great find, was double teamed, and Benedict knocking down another big 3 in this game.
And Williams answers right back with the lay-in.
Speaking of knocking down big shots, Williams has been doing that all night. He has been so dynamic, as I mentioned before, and he makes it now a 2-point game again. He's got 22 points in this game.
Torres up top, Benedict. He spins, fades away, and comes up short.
Well, we've seen him hit that running floater a couple times, but couldn't knock it down there.
Williams, that last make, first scorer to 20. As that 3-pointer gives Post the lead.
That was Scully on the 3. Another one for the Eagles. They're really making this a tough matchup with the 3-point shooting.
And again, the pace beginning to pick up as Torres gives CSI the lead right back.
It's been a game of lead changes here these last couple of minutes. Torres with that pull-up jumper gives the Dolphins back the lead.
Timeout Dolphins, and a very animated Coach TJ Tibbs as we get one more look at that last AB3. Left open in the corner, Benedict makes the Eagles pay. Dolphins in front, 75-74, 8:38 remaining. And we're back from the tank with just over 8.5 minutes to play. The Dolphins with a 1-point lead in what has been a back-and-forth second half. And, Nick, this men's basketball team looks headed for yet another close one here at home.
It certainly is indeed the case. Post not making it easy.
Limerick did not leave his feet, according to the official.
Yeah.
He barely kept his toes on the ground there, Nick. As Wiggin goes coast to coast, count it, and one.
Well, Wiggin definitely left his toes right there, Joe. He gets the and one right there. Big bucket right there by Mitchell Wiggin. Puts the Dolphins up 3, and he'll have a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Wiggin now, with that last basket, has 12. He will head to the line for his 5th free throw of the game. As you get one more look at Wiggin going right into the teeth of the Eagles' defense. Wiggins' free throw is no good. And the Eagles come back the other way. This is Lott around Goldstein at Kone. Can't finish. And Goldstein saves it to Kone. Dolphins right back to the other end. Goldstein. Air ball. And Kone almost saved it.
Out. Kone almost running into one of the cheerleaders. Thankfully, everyone's okay.
Well, the cheerleaders counting their lucky stars after that one.
Yeah.
Timeout.
You said it, Joe. The pace of play these last, 10 minutes, maybe even longer than that, it has been so high pace, action packed. If you blink, you'll miss it. And it's been a good one so far.
Sure has. And when you take a look at the numbers in the second half, Nick, the Eagles 11 of 18 from the field, over 61%. The Dolphins also shooting at 50% during the last 12 minutes plus. And neither side really showing any signs of slowing down when it comes to making shots. I think right now the difference in the game will come down to which team protects the basketball, because you take a look at every metric on the stat sheet, and these two sides are pretty close in just about every category. Rebounds equal. The Dolphins a +2 on turnovers. CSI with an advantage from downtown, but they only have one more made three over the Eagles. So I think, Nick, down the stretch, it could come down to one possession, one key play. What are you looking for in these last 8 minutes?
I think if you're on the CSI side, you got to figure out a way to stop the perimeter shooting from the Eagles, because that's what's been getting them back in this game. You mentioned the numbers, and they are 11 of 18. Not to be mistaken, they're 6 of 9 from the three-point line. They're shooting over 66% in this second half from the three. So the Dolphins really need to try and make sure that they guard the perimeter. On the offensive side, I think you just keep it business as usual. You've been doing great work here in the second half, shooting-wise, and you just have to trust your gut right now with the players you have out there on the court. They go with Kone, Benedict, Torres, Wiggin, and Goldstein. So we'll see what this 5 can do. A chance for Post to tie the game with a 3 here.
Post, if I'm not mistaken, has not led by more than 1 here in the second half. Had a nice lead early. And Williams comes up short on the jumper. Outlet was tipped, but Lott tracks it down. Holden swings it to Lott, who looks to drive. Wiggin with good defense there, denies him. Now Williams on the drive, feeds it inside, and Aycock lays it in.
How dynamic is Williams, Joe? I mean, had to go up with that one, and he finds Aycock underneath the rim. That was a sensational pass.
22 points for Williams now, 6 assists with that last helper. This is Wiggin, pull-up jumper. Rolls off, Lott with the rebound, and Post has a chance to regain the lead. Holden on the wing. Now Aycock. Back outside. Holden swings it. Limerick. And he's 4 for 4 from downtown.
And that's got to be frustrating for the Dolphins, Joe, because they had Kone there, but he gave him just a little bit too much space, and the 6'9" forward just been lighting it up from the outside, as you mentioned it. They now have the lead once again.
Well, when you have a big man who can pull the opposing big out of the paint, that's valuable in itself. But when he's knocking down threes at a 4 for 4 clip, that is a huge difference maker, and he's done it in just 9 minutes. 12 points, a rebound, an assist, and a perfect 4 for 4 from downtown.
And that last foul now for the Eagles, Joe, puts the Dolphins in the double bonus for the remaining 6:31 at the half.
And that's big. We said it before, Nick. The Dolphins had 17 fouls early in the second half. They have not committed a foul since. The Eagles have committed 6.
And keep in mind, too, Williams, who is their leading scorer tonight, Joe, he has 4 fouls. Scully has 3. Thomas has 4. So a couple of their big players are in big foul trouble late in this game.
Oh, when you have to send 22 points over to the bench for foul trouble in the final 6:30, that really hurts. Goldstein knocks down both free throws to tie the score at 79.
This game really coming down to what could be, Joe. The team that has the ball at the last seconds might have a chance to win the game.
Aycock back to the basket. And Limerick. Limerick left alone. Off the back rim and out. Dolphins catch a break there as Kone was fouled.
And he'll go to the free throw line now. And you mentioned it, Joe. They caught a break right there. Limerick with the fake pass, got wide open again for the three-point line, but this time he missed it.
So Kone will head to the line for a pair. And fouls continuing to pile up for Post. They've committed 11 here in the second half. They committed 11 in all of the first half.
And that was Scully's now 4th foul. So I mentioned it before, he had 3 now. He also has 4, as well as Thomas and Williams.
So that's 3 of your 5 starters with 4 fouls. And Kone hits the first free throw. And it becomes a big question of when do you reinsert those players?
And it's fascinating about the Dolphins' stat sheet tonight, Joe, and I'll make that point in a second, as Kone knocks down the free throw. Kone and Chestnut, the only 2 players that have touched the court tonight for the Dolphins that do not have double figures. Everybody else in double figures in this game.
Versatility and depth. The Dolphins have played just 7 tonight, and all 7 have made an impact. And Lott banks in the tough shot inside.
Speaking of impact right there, but Torres looking to make an impact on the other side.
Goes right at Aycock, and he had that one sent back. Lott for the lead. Can't finish. Aycock with the rebound.
And he got
is
fouled.
fouled.
They'll go to the line for a 1-on-1. We'll see who the foul is on CSI.
Torres looked to go coast to coast there, but he was left all alone in transition and was met by a host of post defenders.
Tynes rechecks back in for the Dolphins.
Aycock to the line.
That last foul was on Benedict, his second.
Only Dolphin in foul trouble is Chestnut.
Yeah.
And boy, is it a good thing he got the 1,000.
It's a very good thing.
Or he might be sitting on 999. First free throw good by Aycock.
And speaking of Chestnut,
right
he
on
comes
cue.
right back in.
Right on cue. Wiggin to the bench.
See how aggressive Chestnut gets in these last couple of minutes, as you mentioned, with the foul trouble. 5:43, and now the team trailing by a point.
And we've said it many times already this year, Nick, but late in games, Chestnut has been a big difference maker at both ends of the floor for this Dolphins team. We'll see what role he looks to assume here. They get it into Goldstein. Post leading by a pair. Goldstein for Benedict for 3. Way short.
Chestnut in an island by himself.
And he had no choice but to let Walters lay it in. And how about the reserves for the Eagles right now, picking up the slack while their starters remain on the bench in foul trouble.
Yeah, the bench points have been piling it up for the Eagles in this game. And now they have a 4-point lead.
Benedict off the fake was rejected. Good help by Limerick. Speaking of difference makers off the bench, Lott over to Aycock. Now Holden. Right back to Aycock for an open three, and he puts up an air ball. Kone alone up the floor. Kone to the basket, and he throws it down. Count the basket and the foul.
He put Aycock on a poster on that one, Joe. Put that one on the highlight reel.
We haven't seen a dunk quite like that in a long time. Asa Kone off the long outlet pass, throws it down with two hands.
Let's get one more look. Aycock going for an emphatic block. He gets the emphatic poster. Big time play by Kone. He'll try for the three-point play with the free throw.
And that could be a huge momentum swinger right there. The Dolphins back to within two. Kone to the line for one shot. And Kone's free throw rattles out. It remains a 2-point game. This is Williams. They had the switch with Kone. I'm surprised they didn't look to exploit that.
They still have it, Joe. They want to go back to it. Aycock has chestnut on him.
Goldstein knocks it away and went for a ride on the slip and slide there.
Chestnut almost slipped with him on at the tail end, but
that was a great effort by Goldstein. He realized he wasn't going to get there.
And keep in mind, though, on this inbound play, Joe, they only have 10 seconds on the shot clock, so not much time if you're the Eagles to go up the court.
Well, they have a long way to go from here. 10 to the spot where Goldstein slid across the floor. Scully will be the inbounder. He checks in with the 4 fouls. Williams in with the 4 fouls. Thomas, the second in with 4 fouls.
And a travel. That's a tough one right there for Post. They try to get the ball up quickly with the 10 seconds on the shot clock, and an immediate travel now gives the Dolphins a chance here, Joe, to tie or take the lead.
Under 4.5 to play, Post in front, 85-83. Chestnut for Goldstein. And he can't finish, but a late whistle comes in, and if that's on Williams, he's fouled out.
I think it is, Joe, and the Eagles are livid, and it's tough because, as you mentioned, it was a late whistle, and it was on Williams. That's his 5th.
Well, let's get a look from in close, Nick. The Eagles bench not happy.
Might have to go a little bit earlier than that.
A little bit slower. Mark Kunsa not happy. That is a huge call. What did you think, Nick?
Really tough to tell from the angle. I think my only gripe, if I'm anyone, is that the timing of the foul, because it was right after the Eagles got the rebound and they were about to go up the court. But it looked like it was the right call based on the fact that he might have held Goldstein's arm as he was going up for the layup.
Well, Nick, when it comes to officiating, you and I are nobody.
That's true.
Goldstein to the line. 2 shots.
I think we have a better angle from the wide shot when we have a second.
First free throw is good.
Because you'll get a little bit more of a clearer look if he held his arm or now going up. I don't know.
You hate to see a guy who has 22 points foul out that way. They brought him in relatively early, Nick.
Yeah.
All 3 starters with 4 fouls came back in quickly.
Tie game once again now, 4:08 to go.
Clutch free throws by Goldstein.
And they've got the mismatch if they take advantage of it.
And Goldstein does well to get that switch back. And he has the rebound as well. You can see how vocal he is. A leader out there on the floor as Chestnut finds Kone. Offensive foul.
And Chestnut, that's his 5th, Joe. He's going to be out of the game as well. And you saw it. There was a miscommunication. I think Kone was initially thinking he was going to go up with the floater.
He did.
Chestnut thought that Kone was going to go up for the alley-oop, but now Chestnut's out for the remainder of this game.
That's a tough way to go as well if you're Chestnut. But he has fouled out with 3:50 to go. Potential Game of the Year candidate with under 4 minutes to play. As you get one more look at that last offensive foul, we head to immediate timeout. Dolphins and Eagles all tied up at 85. Under 4 minutes to play from the tank. Still plenty of time left in what has been a great one between the Dolphins and the Eagles. It is post-basketball as the clock winds down inside of 3 minutes and 50 seconds to play.
170 combined points, and as you mentioned, we still have another 4 minutes to go in this game.
Could end up being our highest scoring home game of the season. Scully, short.
And who was the foul on?
Well, if that's on Thomas II, he's fouled out. Wow. One after the other, 2 of the 3 post starters with 4 fouls will head to the bench with their 5th.
And you're right, that is his 5th. It's going to be an over the back. We'll see it right here in a second.
And
see, there goes up the shot. Trying to get the rebound from behind, but he knocked
looks like
over
the right
Tynes.
call, Nick.
Yeah,
looks like the right call. And
yeah.
Benedict immediately saw it. And now Tynes can give the Dolphins the lead. And he does.
That's a big one right there for the Eagles. They lose first Thomas. Williams. Now they lose Thomas.
Well, they lost with those 2 players fouling out. 31 points,
Yeah.
5 rebounds, and 8 assists. Dolphins now lead it by a pair after Tynes knocks down both free throws.
Have to thank Acock, the way he's been shooting tonight. He's going to be one of their big guys they go to late in this game, but we've also seen Limerick make some big shots.
You have to think the Dolphins are not going to give Limerick an inch. Holden has the mismatch with Kone. He'll try a 3, and he gives the Eagles the lead.
That was an incredible shot from long range. He got the screen, and you mentioned it before, Joe. He got the mismatch, and he took advantage of it.
Goldstein is fouled.
That's on Limerick.
Well, Mark Kunza not happy with the foul calls. And Post in the second half has now committed 15 team fouls. Goldstein ties the score with that first free throw.
Committed 11 fouls in the first half.
And the Dolphins go back in front by 1. That is our 12th lead change of the game. Limerick Looking for somewhere to go with it, finds Scully. Cross-court pass to Holden. Lott in the corner, defended by Goldstein. Steps back for 2. Off the back rim and rebounded by Limerick. He's tripled. And fouled. Or timeout.
Yeah.
Timeout called first.
And speaking of the foul, Joe, I know it wasn't called on that play, but the Dolphins' next foul would put the Eagles in the double bonus. So that's something to also note with 2:32 left.
I think if you're post and you can find a way to overcome the loss of 2 starters and win this game, that would be a massive achievement for them. And the Dolphins, if they can win this game, would be 9-0 at home and on a 6-game winning streak heading to Buffalo. And that, as we mentioned during the pregame, Nick, doesn't necessarily mean much in terms of where this team is headed in the conference postseason, but winning a game like this on your home floor could come into play if you're looking for an at-large bid later in the year. And the way this team is playing right now, that can't be taken off the table just yet. So I think if you're the Dolphins moving forward, this is a game that even though it doesn't have any bearing on your conference playoff positioning, it's a win you need to have.
It's one of those games where you look at tournament resumes, and it's one of those games that you want to have because you don't want to have a resume-breaking loss right here with this game.
12 to shoot for Post. They trail by 1.
They had Limerick open for a second but missed him.
Scully lost it. Now Holden over to Lott. 3 to shoot. Lott, fall-away jumper, air ball. Just over 2 minutes to play. Goldstein on the drive. Just missed off the window. Kone has it and draws the foul.
And is that on Scully now, Joe?
And if it is, he has fouled out.
Let's see. I might be on Acock. I think
and
it was.
That's
going to be his 3rd.
2 more free throws for the Dolphins, who have now attempted 17 free throws in the second half. And they've hit 14 of them. Kone's free throw is good. Complete silence falling over the tank at Nick.
Welcome back to the tank, Joe.
It had to be very, I don't want to say disorienting, but a bit odd to hear me talking so loudly in your headset during free throws when I was in Florida.
Just a bit.
2 big free throws by Kone put the Dolphins up by 3.
He's now 4 for 6 for the line. Big free throws, as you mentioned. Under 2 to go.
Goldstein defending Scully. I don't believe Goldstein has come out of this game. He's played 37 minutes.
Not that I can recall of.
Lott, defended by Kone. Tough shot off the front rim and rebounded by Benedict.
And you can see the presence of not having Thomas in this game, as well as Williams, is really hurting the Eagles late.
Benedict could be our player of the game, Nick. He's
very well
headed for a double-double. Chestnut, had he not fouled out, had a chance for a triple-double. As Goldstein lays it in with the left hand.
An incredible lay-in by Goldstein. Took the contact, and it did not matter.
Dolphins by 5. Just over a minute to play. And Lott lost his footing and lost the ball.
And a travel.
Wow. The Dolphins appeared headed for a 7-point lead, or at the very least a chance to take some time off the clock. Instead, we come back to the other end. It will be post-basketball, and they do not have to rush here, Nick.
Exactly 1 minute remaining. Dolphins with 2 timeouts left. The Eagles with 1 timeout left.
They need a basket and a stop. Scully with it. He has Kone on him. Now Lott for 3. In and out. And Limerick has it. Holden for 3. No good. Acock with the rebound. They still have time to go 2 for 1. And that was not a good decision by Scully.
Aycock was not ready for the pass on that one, Joe. He was waiting for Scully to go up with it.
Scully was open. He should have went up with it.
And now a 9-ticket differential. Let's see if they foul.
I think they have to, Nick. If they can't force a turnover, they have to foul.
There's the foul.
And Lott does give the foul, his third. Benedict to the line.
And you mentioned Benedict potentially nearing a double-double in this game. Would it not be the first time this season he's gotten a double-double?
First free throw by Benedict is good. And the Dolphins lead by 6. And Nick, I said it earlier in the game, what you look at in these final 2 minutes, how many possessions up or down are you? This free throw could make it a 3-possession game. And Benedict does just that. Scully doesn't have much time to waste here. Finds Holden, step back 3. No good. And Tynes snatches the rebound. That may do it. And the Eagles will not foul as the Dolphins remain perfect here at home.
And look how pumped up they are, Joe. This was a hard-fought win for CSI tonight. They get the job done. 95-88 the final. It's going to be really tough, Joe. Who do we bring over for the player of the game? Do we talk to Chestnut as well as someone else?
We could send over 2, but I think Andrew Benedict has to get the nod. JJ spoke to you last game.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be Benedict. They didn't send us the text yet, did they?
They asked.
So what do we tell them? I told them to send both. We can handle it. Meanwhile, the Dolphins close out a 95-88 win. Our TLC Physical Therapy post-game report. I'm trying to sign it over there, Nick. You carry our audience through as
I will.
That was a very long hold of the eye.
Very long.
We'll be right back with the post-game report.
All right, we are back with our TLC Physical Therapy players of the game this time around. My broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, is joined on the court by J.J. Chestnut and Andrew Benedict. Take it away, Joe.
All right, thank you, Nick. We're joined courtside by J.J. Chestnut and Andrew Benedict. And J.J., we have to start with you. 1,000 career points, huge moment for you in your career. You got a chance to bask in it after the announcement came over PA, and it looked like Coach Tibbs for a moment was deking you out there, asking you what you were doing. It was a great moment. We caught it on the broadcast. Where does this moment rank and this win rank for you in terms of your time here at the program?
As far as like my time goes with the program, this is definitely up there. Definitely, I feel as good as when we made it to the semifinals for the first time, but maybe even a little better. Me and Tibbs been talking about getting this for a while, and it feels amazing. Shout out to my teammates, shout out to my coaches, shout out to this athletic program here. Thank you.
All right, let's all take one big step forward. Our microphone wire is screaming here. So, Andrew, this team was playing at a great pace in this game, and you really seem to benefit from that. A couple of transition threes. Is that a pace that you enjoy playing at?
Oh, it's a great pace. Like, just get out and run. The key is getting stops, and then just getting out and pushing it, and that's where I'm most comfortable. I think that's where we all thrive. Everyone gets a chance to go make a play, and that's what's really good about this team.
Too much height here. We all took a big step right out of the frame. Nick tried to get to work on that. But, JJ, 2 big conference games coming up this weekend. The trip to Buffalo, always an important part of the season. How important is it to pick up right where you've left off tonight in conference play and win a couple of games this weekend?
Well, it started tonight. We talked about building momentum going into conference, so we needed to win tonight first. But it all starts with practice. So tomorrow we're going to be right back to work, ready to work. And I'm all over the place. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what to say. But, Joey, I know you watching, bro. We miss you. We love you. Everything's for you, bro.
All right, last question, Andrew. This team obviously playing really well right now, but especially well here at home as you and I will slide to the left. 9-0 at the Tank. How is it to play in this building, and how important is it to keep a 0 in that loss column?
It's really important. The environment here is it's just unbeatable. You can't really get it better anywhere else. And, yeah, it just starts with practice, like JJ said, and coming out here and defending the Tank.
All right, go enjoy the celebration with your teammates. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, JJ. That was our TLC Physical Therapy post-game report. Nick, I'll throw it back over to you, and you and I will wrap things up from the Tank.
All right, thank you, Joe. And what a momentous win for this Dolphins team here tonight. They get the job done over a Eagles team that was really, really highly competitive in this game. The record doesn't show it, but they really gave the Dolphins a battle tonight. 95-88 the final. The Dolphins, as Joe just mentioned before, continue their winning season here at the Tank and now go to 11-4 on the season. They now go to 6 straight wins now with the victory tonight. And as you mentioned as well, Joe, a now 9-0 mark here at the Tank. It has been a phenomenal start for this team.
It sure has, Nick, and this team has been really fun to watch so far this year. And I think if you're a fan of grinded-out defensive games, even though this particular game wasn't that kind of game, this team can still give you that if the situation calls for it. But if you're a fan of fast-paced offense, a lot of outside shooting, and a high pace of play, this team can certainly give you that as well. And I think that's part of what's been so impressive about this team so far this year. No matter what situation you put them in, whether it be one of those grinded-out defensive battles or a shootout, they have managed to excel in both of those styles of play, and I think that really bodes well for them heading up to Buffalo, heading back into conference play, and ultimately heading towards what they hope will be a deep run in the postseason.
Yeah, and it's certainly a big win because considering the fact that they have those 2 matchups looming this upcoming weekend, game on Friday at Deauville. Then they play Damon in a highly contested matchup on Sunday. And the next time you and I are back here on the broadcast will be next Wednesday, January 14th against Stack.
You put a lot of emphasis on that, Nick. Shots fired.
Just wanted to make sure you knew ahead of time. But big matchups were coming up for this Dolphins team against, Stack. We saw earlier in the year, Joe. You were there in person, how that game finished up between them and the Spartans. But Friday and Sunday, they have to take care of business in those 2 games first and see where they are ahead of at the end of the year. So big games are coming for this Dolphins team. But before you sign it off, just want to give our well wishes to Joey Poole and his family. I know they're going through some tough times right now. So best well wishes to Poole and the rest of his family as well.
I absolutely echo that sentiment, and I hate to follow it up with this, but Nick, joke's on you. Our next broadcast is going to be on Friday because I'm audio only.
That's true.
I'm audio only in Buffalo. I'll be making the trip up there on Friday morning and joining the Dolphins at Deauville for their doubleheader against the Saints on Friday night. You can catch those audio only live streams over on our CSI Sportsnet YouTube channel. I will also be in Amherst on Sunday as the Dolphins take on the Damon University Wildcats. But until next time, this has been Joe Foreman on the call alongside Nicholas Bavona. Our final score tonight, the Dolphins 95 and the Eagles 88. The Dolphins stay perfect here at the Tank. They are now 9-0 at home, winners of 6 straight games. We'll see you back on the air Friday at Deauville. And if you wait until our next home game to tune in, Nick and I on the broadcast next Wednesday against St. Thomas Aquinas College. Everyone, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night.